Hello, my name is Laurentin. I'm a Smarter Process Offering Manager at IBM. Today I'm going to give you a demonstration of IBM Operational Decision Manager on cloud. Before starting the demonstration, I want to give you a short introduction of what IBM ODM on cloud is. First of all, IBM Operational Decision Manager on cloud is a collaborative software as a service that is role-based. And the aim of ODM on cloud is to help you to capture, automate, and manage all your frequently occurring business decisions that are rules-based. Then you will be able to share them across the cloud. IBM ODM on cloud is a software as a service cloud that is hosted on the IBM cloud platform based on SoftLayer. This means that this service is available on the 17 different IBM SoftLayer data centers worldwide. The concept of operation of ODM on cloud is very simple. Everything starts from the rule designer, that is the Eclipse environment for developers, that have the responsibility of designing the decision service, configuring the decision service, defining all the models, the vocabulary that business user will use, and the various deployment configuration. And then the service is pushed to the cloud. Then everything will happen from the cloud. So the business expert in charge of maintaining the business policies will have access to all the rules. They are able to update them, view them, test them, do some simulation, define their own testing and simulation suites, and validating all that change. ODM on Cloud also provides some predefined governance services with the decision governance framework that comes out of the box with the service. ODM on Cloud comes with three different environments: development, test, and production, as we will see. The release manager is in charge of pushing the various versions of the decisions, depending on the updates and depending on the lifecycle they are into one of these different environments. We will see the three dev, test, and production environments in the demonstration. Finally, the external application will invoke this decision service, providing the input data and then getting in as a result the decisions. All the connections from outside to the clouds are secured and performed through HTTPS. With ODM on cloud, you can define as many different decisions as you were used to do with the ODM on-prem. You can do some fraud detection, underwriting, claims, eligibility, pricing, loyalty, so all the classical rules-based decisions that you were used to develop with the ODM on-prem are also available, and you can also develop similar decisions from IBM ODM on cloud. In today's demonstration, we are going to see a simple fast loan decision service. So from a fast loan web application, any customer are able to provide their data to get a loan from the bank. The fast loan decision service is hosted on ODM on cloud and provides different services: validation, scoring, and then eligibility to the loan. The release manager in our demonstration will be responsible for updating the business policies and pushing them into the various dev, test, and prod environments depending on where we are in the update lifecycle. So let's now move to the demonstration. So before having a look to ODM on cloud, let's see this client application. So from this application, any customer can provide their data, their name, age, all this data that the rules will use to decide about the validation, about the scoring, and the eligibility to the loan. Behind the scene, we are going to use the ODM on cloud invocation to the service. From this sample interface, we can decide to invoke the rules from the dev, the test, or the production environment. As any HTTPS connection, so we have to provide the credential, so the username and the password, to be able to access the cloud instance that is here located here in that URL. So let's use with this data this decision service. So here I have submitted the data to the service, and automatically I see that my loan has been rejected. I can see some reasons, so I can see the scores that has been computed by the rules, and one reason, the debt to income was too high compared to the credit score I got with my data. If I just change a value here, for example, increasing my yearly income, and invoke a new decision, here the result is different, because now I am eligible with my debt to income ratio. That is good for the opt-in score. So all the score and decisions are managed behind the scene by the business rules decision service. So let's see what's behind the scene. So let's first log in into ODM on Cloud. So here I can provide my credentials and then my password. And now I enter ODM on Cloud. So this is the landing page of ODM on Cloud. So as I've explained previously, you can see that ODM on Cloud is composed of three environments. The development environment, in which you will see the rule designer, the decision center business console, enterprise console, that are the two consoles that are designed for business users to update, manage their business policies, and the rule execution server console that provides a visibility on the dedicated execution server instance that is available on this development environment. Then we have a test environment, where we will just have the rule execution server console to manage all the decisions that are deployed on the test environment, and finally the production environment, once again with the rule execution server console, allowing me to see all the decisions that have been deployed in the production environment. So in the previous example, with the small demo that we have seen, we were executing the decision from that environment, the production one. So, as I said in the introduction, ODM on Cloud is a role-based service. This means that here I'm logged as an administrator. This means that I can see all the administration panel and have access to all the users and privileges from the users that are here in this instance. I can rapidly invite a new user just by here setting an email, and then automatically ODM on Cloud will send an invitation email to this user, allowing him first to set up his account, his name and password, and then finally access the cloud instance. So from this interface, so you can filter here. So you can see here my profile. I'm an administrator. And here I am, my role is a release manager. That is the highest role with the highest privileges that you can have in ODM on Cloud. So in just one click, you can change the roles of the users, and that will give them access to some specific functions and features of the product, or just block them. For example, deploying the production environment is something that is just allowed for release managers, as I am right now. Let's come back now to our decision service. So as I said, so everything starts from the rule designer. So from this environment, you can download the rule designer archive, and you will get the entire pre-configured Eclipse environment that allows any developer to set up the decision service before pushing it to the cloud. Let's have a look to this environment rapidly. So here we are into the Eclipse environment. We are in the rule perspective, and we can see here our decision service, the fast launch service demo. with the eligibility, scoring, and validation rule set that are composing here our global decision. We can see here the rule flow that orchestrates these various rule sets. One important aspect of a decision service is the deployment configurations. So here we have defined two configurations. One that will allow a user to deploy on non-production environments, and here we can see all the servers that are available on the cloud and that are non-production environments. So we can see the one from the development environment and one from the test environment. When you specify in the rule designer your cloud connection, specifying the URL, your username and your password, automatically here all the URLs for the various execution environments are automatically set. We can see here the production configuration, once again with the production environment predefined with the correct URL. Once defined, you can synchronize your decision service with the decision center just by clicking on this button. Automatically, all your decision service will be pushed to your cloud instance. From them, any business users and release manager are able to access this decision service from the cloud. So let's come back to the cloud and have a look to this decision service. So to do so, I'm going to use today the business console. So the business console is the web interface that is specially designed for business users, allowing them to collaborate, exchange using the social media style collaborations, and update their decisions. So here we can see all the decisions that are already deployed on this instance, and I'm going to have a look to the FastLoan service that compose today today's demonstration. So there are two options in ODM on cloud. You can either work with the decision governance framework, where you will be completely guided end to end in a governance way, in a governed way, to update business decisions using dedicated activities, or use the branch mode. So let's use today the branch mode and have a look to all the rules and decisions that are governing our today's demonstration. So here we can see once again all the rules that have been defined and that you can update. So we can see, for example, here a decision table. So the decision table that will initialize the score depending on the state of the residence of the customer and of the borrower, and the flag that tells us if the request comes from an existing customer of the bank or not. Depending on these parameters, we will initialize the score accordingly. So here we have seen a decision table. You can also define a decision using textual rules. So here we can see one of these rules. If the amount of the loan is more than 500,000 and the borrower is not an existing customer, then we will add a message to the loan, and then we will reject the loan directly. So here we are in an eligibility rule. As I said, an important aspect of ODM on cloud and on the business console is the ability for business user to define simulation suite here from that environment. So here we have some predefined metrics, some KPIs that the user have defined, some data that they want to use for the simulation. They can also define the way they want the report to be displayed, and all these different items will define what we call a simulation. So the simulation will execute all the rules in the current status, and against all the data that are defined here in the data file, and we'll compute some predefined KPIs. So let's start a simulation. Here we can see the status, so the simulation is ongoing, and now the simulation is done. Let's have a look to the report as it has been defined by a business user. So we can see here in that report first that 28 loans have been approved, 5 of them have been rejected. Among these 5 rejected loans, 4 were existing customers. Here we can see different ways for representing the KPIs, so using some pie charts. So here we can see that 15% of the incoming requests were rejected. We can see that most of the rejection were for existing customers, and the approval ratio per state. So here, all the data that we can display and KPIs that we can display here are completely defined from this interface by business users. So we can see that the number of rejected customer is very high. So this is risky for the insurance, because the more of your customer you will reject, the more likely they will be to go to another bank. So in order to reduce this attrition, the business user decide to try to solve this issue or reduce the risk by creating a new rule. So let's see how he can do that in ODM on Cloud. So the first thing is to come to the rule, and here in the scoring we will increase the score for existing customer. So here we have a bonus rule set. In this bonus rule set we are going to create a new rule. Let's call it existing customers, and we are going to use the Intelli rule editor, that is a contextual point-and-click editor with automatic completion that allows me to define my rules very easily. So if the borrower, and then automatically I've got some automatic completion, is an existing customer, then I'm going to increase the score of the borrower by 200 points. And then I'm going to document this rule by adding a message. So we are going to call the message existing customer bonus, and then we are going to set this message to the loan. Here we are. So the rule is defined. I have no more errors here. I can save the rule and create a new version of that rule. The rule is not yet deployed, but we can already measure the impact of that rule. So what we are going to do here is to just come back into the simulation and run the exact same simulation as the previous one using the same data. So a new report is being generated, and we are going to see the impact of that new rule. So here the new report is here, and what I can do is compare side by side this new report with the previous one, so that I can really see the impact of my new policy. And here I can see that the previous number of existing customer was 4, and now it is just 3. And here we have also reduced the number of existing customers that were rejected. So as a business user, what I will say is this rule does its job, and it reduces the number of rejected existing customers. So the next step for me is to make sure that this rule does not break the integrity of my system. To do so, I'm going to use a test suite that also has been defined here from the business console, and run this test suite on my new rules. So a test suite consists in defining some scenarios and check the result for each scenarios. If one result with the rules is not matching the expected conditions, the expected results, then we will get some errors. So let's run the test suite here. So behind the scene, so we are executing all the rules, including the new one, and we can see the test reports. So all the tests are successful. This means that the new rules that I've created is not breaking the integrity of my system. For example, here, for this scenario, the loan approval status was supposed to be true, and the result is true. Here, the credit score of the borrower for that scenario was supposed to be greater than 400. It has been 770. So all the scenarios and all the conditions are matched for all in all cases. So 100% of success. So this means that okay, my new rule does not break my integrity, the integrity of the system, and now I can deploy it for further tests. To do that, I am a release manager, so I have the ability to deploy on the various environments. So here we can see the two deployment configurations that we have defined in the rule designer, and deploy in one of these environments. So the first thing I'm going to do is deploy on the test environment. So let's do this. So now the deployment is ongoing, and it's done. From my cloud instance, so I can come to the test environment and start the rule execution server console and check that my decision has been correctly deployed. So here I can see my live cloud deployment for my decision service, and here see the new version of my fast loan service rule set that have just deployed right now. So my service, my new decision service, is deployed on the test environment. So if I come back to my testing interface, what I can do now is using the test environment and start a new loan evaluation. And here I can see that now my loan has been accepted, and the result, the score is now 290, and we can see that my existing customer bonus rule has been fired for that case. If I come back to the production environment, we execute the exact same case, we are still rejected, just because we have not yet deployed on production. So ODM on Cloud allows you to really run and test and do some validation and testing without impacting your production environment. So now what I can see here in this pre-production test is that my new decision service works well with my client application. So the next step for me is to deploy the rule into the production environment. So let's do that using this specific deployment configuration. Once again, I am a release manager, so I am entitled to deploy on that environment. Once again, from the cloud interface, so I can have a look to the rule execution server in production and see all my rules that have been rule applications that have been deployed, and once again the new version of my decision service that has been deployed in production. Here I am still using the application in production mode. It is still running. I'm re-executing again the exact same case, and now I am allowed to get the loan, and once again I can see the existing customer bonus rule that has been fired. So this means that you can deploy new business policies and update your application or business processes with ODM on Cloud without interrupting the service itself. So it brings you a great visibility. So in this demonstration, so we have been able to see ODM on Cloud in action. We have been able to see how business users can update rules, run some testing, simulation, measure the impact of the changes before putting them into production. We have seen the various life cycle for the rules, starting from the dev environment, the test environment, and then the production environment. And we have also been able to see how easy it is in ODM on Cloud to manage roles and assign new participant, invite new participant to the cloud instance. So to conclude this presentation, let me give you some takeaways. So here are the top 10 values that you can get from ODM on Cloud. So with ODM on Cloud, you benefit from decades of investments and innovation from IBM on the business rules management system domain. The service is provisioned in less than 48 hours, so you are able to create your first decision very rapidly. The service is, as I said, fully managed by IBM, meaning that you will not require any IT investment to operate it. So its monthly subscription model gives you a flexibility and a visibility on your investments. ODM on Cloud being a software as a service, you will not need servers to run it, so it reduces CapEx, capital expenditure for your organization. The user management is self-service, as we have seen. It does not require any contact to IBM to invite new participants and assign them with roles. You can do that by yourself. Any ODM on Cloud instance comes, as we have seen, with the 3 dev, test, and production environments, making the decision update cycle straightforward. The service is secured and kept secured by IBM. The ODM versions are always up to date on this service, and IBM will push the new features on the regular basis on the cloud. So ODM on Cloud helps you to control your investment by cutting down license costs due to the hardware investment, people required to maintain and operate the system, install it, configure it, update it. All these tasks are now fully performed for you by IBM with security. So some next steps. So the first thing you can do is to learn more about ODM on Cloud, visiting the ODM Dev Center. You have here the URL, or also visiting the ODM product page on IBM.com site. Then you can evaluate IBM Operational Decision Manager on Cloud, signing up for a 2-week free trial version, from where you will have a full access to the product. You have here the link to request your trial version. And finally, we can do some on-site workshop with your business users and IT stakeholders. And then during this workshop, we will evaluate the applicability of ODM on Cloud for your project. Thank you for your attention, and have a nice day.